Hey tubes, JD1533 here. I have a little different one for you tonight. And what it has to do with is this gas can that I bought. It's a metal gas can, one of these safety cans. You know, I can't stand the plastic gas cans. This is a 1 gallon can, and I just love this mechanism. You know, it's real sturdy. This was probably built in the 40s or the 50s. Some of you out there might know more about it than I do. It is solid. It was used to store kerosene. Guy wanted $5 for it at an engine show. I took it for $3. I think that's a pretty good deal. It'll hold fuel. I want it for my premix for the 2-stroke engines. So looks pretty cruddy. I thought we could restore it and paint it up, but not now because I want to use it now. So instead, what I'm going to do, clean it up with some soap and water and polish it. Polish the outside of it. I'll worry about the rust and all this later. First I want to do some polishing. So we have this product here. Now what the polish does is, it's not really a compound like it says here. It's less abrasive than toothpaste. But what it does do is it polishes. It cleans and conditions the paint. It removes the oxidized layer of paint. And will get it looking as good as it can be for whatever is left of this paint. So they'll have the patina with the scratches and all, and I'm not worried about that because, you know, there's heavy zinc galvanization here, galvanized. And after that's done, move on to sealing it with a carnauba wax. It's a very simple wax. Now I can use, you know, you can use a turtle wax. We even have this kind of swirl remover. I got all these because I have a case of different ones for free. They're laying around, but I thought I just want to use this straight up carnauba wax. It washes off eventually, and what that's going to do is that's going to seal it. So when I clean out the kerosene residue and sludge out of the inside, if any of that splatters on the outside, which no doubt will, it won't soak into this dry, oxidized paint, causing splotchiness. At least that's my thought and my theory. So we're going to clean the outside first and polish it, seal it with some wax, and then we can continue on to the inside and get a Dremel and a wire brush and all that and clean up some of this rust. Just make it more presentable, make it look good without the old patina. But I'll have this thing back in service, holding my premix fuel very soon. All right, tubes. Obviously, we're going to time lapse this and speed up the video, but I thought it'd be kind of neat to show a test patch of some of the worst oxidation with this polish. I'm going to try to bring this in a little bit with the light. Maybe you can see it. Now that's the top part there. That's pretty well oxidized. Probably more than the sides, but that's not much better. So we're going to do a little test patch right on the top in real time. So you see we're actually doing it with this product right here, this polish. I'm going to be using some of these paper blue shop rags for the first stages, so I can throw them out. So I expect to pick up a lot of debris, just a little bit, like a pea size, right? A little bit like that. And I'm kind of not where I want to be. We'll do a little test patch right here in the top, and I'm just swirling it in. Okay, matter of fact, we're gonna kind of swirl it, kind of work it. The top is so bad that it's going to take a lot more work than this. But we'll show you real quick how fast we can make a difference. Now, as you can see, some of the color came off, some of the oxidation, and I'm not going to let it completely dry. Just start rubbing some of it off now. I'm going to show you, it's not wax. I'm going to show you some of the magic of the polish. So let's look at the comparison here. Surrounding area. Look where we just polished. That little area there. It looks better live than on camera, I can guarantee you that, but I see a lot of potential for this paint job, so stand by and we'll get it done. So, you know, even in time lapse, I mean, it takes a long time, but not too long to achieve. What a difference, you know? I mean, it's really coming up, and I've only done this a few minutes right now. Most of the paint's staying there. We're going to be careful not to chip too much off, but I think it's looking pretty good, preserving a lot of the old patina. Top's going to need a little more work than some of the sides, but it's not for everybody, but I think it looks pretty decent. It's really coming up, and that's really going to help the paint whatever's left. You know, this would be worth, you know, repainting and kind of restoring someday, but for right now, like I said, I just want to use it and make it look as good as it can be with its patina, its scratches, its dents, and its dings. So I'm going to finish this up and show you the end result, and then we'll get some carnauba wax on it to seal it and start talking about taking care of some of these rusty things. Okay, all right, tubes, here's where we're at with this. You know, I used the polishing compound just by hand to try to work up the finish on this. Some blue shop towels, no big deal. Some areas took more work than others, like especially the top. There's a lot of staining and all that I'm not going to be able to get out. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm pretty happy with it. You know, it's a pretty decent shine, even on the bottom. We still have the scratches, the dents and the dings and the patina, but we have something that looks a lot better. I'm pretty happy with it. The top still looks nasty, so the next step that we have to do after using this polishing compound, it's actually not compound, just polish, forget the word compound. This is probably less abrasive than toothpaste. It's just polish, paint polish. Here we have this carnauba wax, same manufacturer, I like them. You know, carnauba wax is very simple. I'm going to use that to seal this nice polished paint. And we removed the oxidation and brought it up to what's left. A lot of people would think this is clear coated, but it's not. It's just paint polish. You know, this polish. That's nice. That's on the floor now. And the next thing we have to do is I want to seal this nice finish with some carnauba wax. This stuff will wash off with soap and water. It's safe. I just want to seal it so when we go to clean the inside out and work on this nasty stuff up here, that whatever drippings get on here don't soak into oxidized paint. It'll kind of roll right off. And I'll say it again, I think it looks pretty neat. We brought back what you could bring back, and then this is another story. So I guess without any further ado, we'll start on this. I'll probably time lapse this part with the carnauba wax, but just to get started, there we go. We'll take a little bit at a time. We're going to work little areas at a time. And the reason for that is because you make a kind of powdery mess if you let this stuff dry completely. So if we did the whole thing, it would dry completely. You don't need to do that. You just need a very thin layer of this stuff. Just work it in. Okay, it's like Mr. Miyagi. Wax on and then wax off. It's not completely dry. That's okay. We don't want it to completely dry out. That's why we're working very small areas. So now we're going to come back. It's not completely dry, but it's not wet. And just wipe it off. Okay, and it's still drying even though it looks like we took it all off. Oh, still drying a little more. I'll take a little bit more off, little area by little area. And I'll tell you, that's slick. That's sealed. That looks like clear coat from here anyway. So we'll time lapse the rest and we'll check it out when it's done. So now I'm pretty happy with it. At least the bottom part, not the hardware, which I said we'll do later. But I'm really happy the way this turned out. It came out a lot better than I thought it would with the polish and the wax. And, you know, now we'll just go over it with a soft terry cloth or these Red Shop rags, you know, just give it a finish buff. And I say we didn't restore it by taking all the paint off and doing it new. But this makes a big difference. You know, you can do this with just about anything as long as there's something left to salvage. And you know, there's a lot of staining we can't take off, but I'll tell you, I'm going to be able to use this pretty soon. And it's going to look great. And then we'll tackle this stuff on another episode after you get cleaned out. All right? Wherever you are, I don't know if it's day or night. So JD1533 saying good day, good night, and I'm out.